give a shout out to everybody that's joining us live right now on the Paul Andy show. So let's get started. Let's help me to share this live to as many homes as possible. Let's get this live to as many homes as possible. Welcome to the Paul Andy show. Yes. We're good. So thank you so much. So we are live now. We back live. We good. And we're gonna talk about tonight the birth of whiteness. The birth of whiteness, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Where the whiteness is coming from. Why the white man right now? We are calling the white man. Why we are calling them white men, where that name comes from, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. For those of you who just tuned in, watching us for the very first time, this week we've been talking about a lot of topic. We talk about the mass deportation. What is the effect? What is the effect of mass deportation? Okay, and we talk about the shutdown of U.S. aid yesterday. Tonight, we going to talk about the birth of whiteness, and why we are talking about the birth of whiteness is because of exactly what's going on right now between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, between Donald Trump and his billionaire friends. That's the reason why we are bringing this topic, just so we can enlighten some of you about certain things that you are seeing happening right now. This is not new. It's not for no reason. Even in the Bible, it says there's nothing new under the sun. So what's go around, come back around. This is not just a slogan, but it's also true. So a lot of things that we see happening right now, those things happening before, and they are happening again and again. They will continue to happen again and again. So the birth of whiteness in colonial America. The story of America, the story of America's story is rooted in the power dynamics created by rich white men or by rich European. Because back in that time, they didn't call themselves white men. They were not white men. They were European men. These individuals seeing the growing power of enslaved African and poor, right? They see the growing power of enslaved Americans, brothers and sisters, and the poor Europeans. When we talk about the poor Europeans, those are the guys, those are the men that they are now calling the white men. So those individuals, the rich Europeans, they see the potential, they see the growing, they see the money of enslaved Africans and poor Europeans. We're talking about the black men. They recognized they were vastly outnumbered, but how did they maintain control? And that was the question they asking themselves. They sit one day in a meeting, they sit in Congress, they sit in the White House, they sit together They look at among themselves. They say, ah, we are out of numbers. There's not too many people like us who rich like us. What do we need to do to make sure that we are in full control? To make sure that tomorrow, the poor Europeans, they don't come to fight against us. They don't stand against us. What do we need to do to make sure we bring them on our side and to keep them on our side? What should we do? Well, there was one idiot among all of them. They say, you know what? I think we should make them rich just like us. I think we should give them the best land. I think we should give them the best land. I think we should give them the best slaves. I think we should give them the best grain. I think we should treat them like they are us. Well, I'm telling you, I have my friend Josh that was there. Josh said, I don't think that's bright. I don't think that's a great idea. No way. No way. I don't think that's a good idea. We got to keep thinking. We got to keep thinking. It takes days for them to keep thinking about it. But it is true. They know and they strongly believe they were vastly out of numbered. That's mean out of 100 Europeans that was living on this planet Earth, only 5 of them were rich. Only 5 of them were rich. And then look at themselves. There's 95% of them, 95% of the Europeans that were poor. And they look at themselves and they say, something must be done. We got to do something to make sure, even though that we out of numbered, but we can maintain control of what we have. So we have to maintain control of what we have. So in order to make sure that we never lose what we have. And they stay the entire day in the chamber talking about just that. Try to find an idea to bite the other 95% Europeans. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did during the past 4 years. During the past 4 years, Donald Trump, when he was dealing with all those allegations, with all those lawsuits, with all those political issues, with all those issues in New York City, right? Those 34 counts of fellow, those 34, there's 34 counts. He was thinking about one thing. Everybody was like, oh, felony, he's a felon, he's a felon. 34 counts. And he found guilty in all of them. You know, he was thinking. He said, what should I do? And I'm going down to the very bottom of this. I'm going to take you to the very bottom of this so you can understand where Donald Trump idea come from. Now, the 5 rich European sitting down together. They are drinking the greatest wine. They're spending the entire day. At midnight, they say, we got to create something that's might not be the reality, but we got to have a concept of it. If we have the concept, we will buy them. And that's why the concept of whiteness come from. In the 16th century, 1600 centuries, there was no racial unity as we know it today. I'm going to say it again. In 1600 century, there was no racial unity as we know it today. Europeans didn't call themselves white. In fact, Europe's history was about division. Englishmen despised the Irish. Northern Italians didn't consider the southern counterparts Italians. And Germans were at odds with everyone. The notion of whiteness was a strategy. On the other hand, and everybody hate the Germans. And the Germans didn't like anybody. The notion of whiteness was a strategy. Rich elites had to find a way to unite the poor Europeans with them because they were out of number. And that's why on that day at midnight, out of all the ideas that they hadn't on the table, the concept of whiteness, they thought that was one of the best and brilliant idea. Yes, that was the best and brilliant idea to unite the poor Europeans with them. So they invented it, a racial divide. They offered poor Europeans a place in this newly minted white category, granting them privileges like voting rights and land ownership, just enough to keep them loyal. I'm going to tell you this. They come to the rest of the Europeans, the 95% of the ones that were poor, the one they now call white trash. They come to them to say, hey, listen, there's a problem. There's a problem in our colony. And we brothers, we got to do something, because look at me, look at you, we are the same color. We are equal. The only thing that divides us is because we are owners and you are our workers. That's the only thing that differentiates us. Other than that, we are family. I think we need to come together to do this. And here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you some piece of land that you're going to be the owner of. We're going to give you the right to vote, which is only the man. If you're a man, we're going to give you the right to vote. If you're a man, we're going to give you the right to own a piece of land. And guess what? That was enough for them to keep them loyal. But more importantly, they give them the tax. They give them the task of keeping enslaved, of keeping enslaved Africans in check. They tell them, hey, you are our brothers. They call themselves white men. We are the white men. We're supposed to be in control. And you know why they do that? Because there were some rumors around the colony that's saying that some of those European, the poor European, those are they call the white trash right now. Some of the white trash, some of the poor European, they are comploting with the black people, with the niggers, with the Negro to overthrow us. They are comploting with the Negro to come and attack us and get everything that we have, everything that we fought for. And now we're getting old. We can no longer fight. They are young. They are young. And in fact, they might not even need to fight because we have those niggers that can fight for us. We're going to put a mint on their mind. We're going to tell them that we are now brothers. We're going to change the name from European. We're going to say we are white. They are black. And that's, my brothers and sisters, that's when the divide of ratio started in America. They tell them, we're going to give you the right to vote. If you're a man, we're going to give you the right to vote. We're going to give you a piece of land. And then we're going to give you a job. Because you got a piece of land, you have the right to vote, you don't have the money. You need a job. And this is how it's all started. We're going to give you a piece of land because you're a man. We're going to give you the right to vote because you're a man. Your wife don't have access to that. Your wife can vote. Your wife can't have access to our land. But you, man, we're going to give you that. And most of all, which is that's something that's very important for you, my friend, we gonna give you a job. We're gonna give you a job. And the white men, the poor white man asks, my Lord, what is the job? My Lord, I will do anything. Anything. I will do anything just so I can bring food on the table for my wife and my kids. Just so I can keep the roof. As long that can sleep under that roof, I will do anything. And then the rich Europeans say, you gonna be in charge of those niggers to keep them in line, to keep them in check. Then they get the job. They get the job. They were placed on slave patrols. That's all they do. They were placed on slave patrols. And if you are placed on slave patrols, there are a couple things that you need. You need a logistic. You need the tools to do the job. You need the equipment to do the job. And here we go. They give them a badge. Right? They give them badges. They give them horses. And enough to give them a sense of power. They didn't have power. But what they did Because let me tell you this. Hey, let me tell you this. I'm asking you, my beloved brothers and sisters, if you are watching live right now, please share the live with your friends. Please share the live with a family member. Please share the live with your friends and your family members. And don't forget to help us reach the goal, which is 20 flowers for tonight. So please share the live, because we want this live to reach as many people as possible. We want this live to go into many homes as possible, and it can only be possible if you share with your friends and your family. So thank you for doing this. So let's get back, my TikTok people. Let's get back. We gotta do this tonight. We gotta do this. Where's my? We gotta do this. Let's do this. TikTok. Let's do this, my TikTok people. Let's do this. We can't let me do this by myself. Come on. I believe in you people. Oh yeah. What's going on tonight? Somebody's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. Okay, there we go, people. So we talk about it. They keep them in check. They give them a job to keep the black people in check. And they give them the tools. Which tools they give them? They give them badges. They give them horses. And enough to give them a sense of power. Even though they were still exploited. The rich had successfully divided the oppressed, and ensuring that poor whites and enslaved people will not unite against their common enemy. The elite. And that's exactly, whether you believe it or not, whether you want to hear it or not, that's exactly what Donald Trump built his entire political campaign, his entire agenda. That's exactly inside 2025 project. That's exactly what inside of it. Making sure that they put in the minds of all the white men that black people, that Mexican people, brown color people are taking their jobs. Brown and black color people are taking over their countries. Brown and color people are taking over United States of America. Make this country unsafe. Black and people, the Haitian people are eating their dogs. Haitian people are eating their cats. Haitian people are eating their pets. The Mexican people are breeding tetanol. The Mexican people are breeding drugs. The Mexican people are killing them. The Mexican people are destroying the cities. The Mexican people are killing the kids, the babies with drugs. And we gotta do something. And the only way to do something about it is to vote for me. If you vote for me, I'm gonna make sure on day one we proceed with the mass deportation to get rid of all those immigrants, all those drug dealers, all those rapists. On day one, if you vote for me, I'm gonna make sure we send all those niggers back where they come from. All those people of color, we're gonna make sure we get them wherever they go. Even they go and hide inside the mom home, we're gonna get them outside of the mom home to deport them back where they come from. And we're gonna make sure we even get the babies who born in America. We're gonna make sure that we do not recognize the birthright, because those people, they are coming for us. They are coming for us. There is no more United States. United States right now is a garbage can because of those Negro, because of those Mexican. That's exactly what Donald Trump and Elon Musk believe. They believe that the immigrants are the reason why you don't have a job. They make you believe, even though they know that's not the truth, even though they know this is not the fact, but when they sit down together in West Palm Beach, when they're sitting down together in New York City, when they sit down together in Las Vegas, when they're sitting down together, Mar-a-Lago, they said, we gotta come up with something. We gotta come up with something that when we bring it to them, they can take it without asking question. We gotta come up with something. And somebody in the room, bright enough to say, we got to come with something. And Donald Trump stand up and say, I know what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna tell them, yes, we're gonna tell them, the Haitian are taking the black people job. The Mexican are taking the white man job. Now they're speaking English. They're speaking Spanish. They're taking the white man job. That's what we're going to tell our white folks. And we're going to tell them, if they vote for us, we're going to fight for them. We're going to fight for them. And day one, we're going to start with a mass deportation. And we're going to deport all those niggers, all those Mexicans. We're going to deport them. But there's one thing that we got to add. We're going to say they are rapists. We got to say they are criminals. We got to say they are drug dealers. We're going to say they're destroying our neighborhood. And we need a girl. We need a victim. We need a girl. We need somebody to testify that all that we say is true, even though we know they are all lies, all lies. And everybody claps. Everybody clap their hands. Yes, Donald. Yes, Donald. What a brilliant idea. And it's, I know. I am the smartest person in the entire world. I always come with the brightest idea, folks. But others. And he called his friend Elon Musk. He said, Elon Musk, we have a meeting in Mar-a-Lago. And we'd like to invite you to come because we need some more ideas. Elon Musk, the billionaire, the ones who knows what starving is, what being thirsty is, the one who knows what it takes to be poor, what it means to be poor, what it means to living in a country that you're depending from paycheck to paycheck. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. Right after the break, we're going to continue with the life, talking about the birth of whiteness.
Et mes amis, font ti camper la bonne font ti parler à vos familles. Moi à invito pour suivre du lundi à jeudi de Paul Andy Show. Yon show qui là pour informer ou, pour aider ou comprendre culture américaine. Et puis tout, qui gens que ou capable apprendre anglais dans moins que 3 mois. Ou même qui dans un job, ou t'as un job ça vient une carrière pour qui gens capable faire ça dans moins que 6 mois. Et puis tout, moun qui engagé dans le choix. Puis plus là, chaque jeudi, ou gain opportunité pour gagner $20, son façon pour encourager ou pour message d'arriver plus loin. Tout on a partagé avec amis, avec famille, ou mettre commentaires, ou poser nos questions, c'est plus chance soit bail tout pour gagner $20 même maman posé. Là que nous arrivons dans 20 000 abonnés dans la page Facebook là, 20 000 abonnés dans la page TikTok là, n'a pas 3 grands prix. Premier prix c'est un iPhone 12 Pro. Deuxième prix un iPad. Troisième prix son microwave tout neuf. Qui ça a besoin? C'est commencer à abonner, faites mieux. Abonner et puis suivre choix de lundi à jeudi à 9h. Boule. Pas oublier, poser questions, commenter et puis tout, partager.
Si vous êtes déplacé, vous avez besoin de transport. Qui donc, ou besoin de 7 Stars Transport. Nous offrons un service incomparable que vous n'avez pas une pièce de l'autre côté. Nous garantissons sécurité, confort, ponctualité, luxe. Si vous avez sorti airport, si vous prenez airport ou bien n'importe déplacement, relais 7 Stars Transport sans qu'elle saute. Nous couvrons zone tant que Tampa, Orlando, Vero Beach, Rive Miami. N'importe côté dans zone ça. Nous venons chercher devant porto, bien stylé dans un luxe sans pareil. Pour nous aller déposer en toute sécurité, côté pour aller. Un voyage sans stress, wifi gratis, active provision pour mettre à l'aise dans la route là, pas de pire bon que ça. Chita et puis relax. Quittez nous faire vivre belle expérience dans chaque voyage vous fait avec nous. Pour toute réservation, relais dans 888 609 77 93 ou bien 813 603 77 93. Ou sinon visitez website qui c'est www.7starswe.org. 7 Stars Transport. Un service transport 7 étoiles. Nous c'est sécurité, ponctualité, fiabilité et luxe.
Vous n'avez pas besoin de vous ruiner lorsque vous avez un nouveau projet. Nous, à 7 Star Studios, nous travaillons en étroite collaboration avec vous du début à la fin de l'imagination au scénario. Scriptez votre imagination. Si vous pouvez le rêver, nous pouvons le faire. Avec une vitesse, une précision et une créativité inégales. L'engagement de notre équipe est de vous aider. Promouvoir avec succès votre marque. Partager votre histoire ou créer une mémoire qui durera pour toujours. Laissez-nous vous aider à démarrer votre projet aujourd'hui. Contactez-nous au 813-603-7793 ou visitez notre web à www.7starswe.org. Vous n'avez pas besoin de vous ruiner lorsque vous avez un nouveau projet. Nous, à 7 Star Studios, nous travaillons en étroite collaboration avec vous du début à la fin de l'imagination au scénario. Scriptez votre imagination. Si vous pouvez le rêver, nous pouvons le faire. Avec une vitesse, une précision et une créativité inégales.
Yes. We back. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you for putting the likes. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Thank you, Beatrice, for sharing. Thank you, Smith, for once for sharing, and then thank you, our producer and SSW TV for sharing. Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome again. So we're gonna go to the second statement. So segment. So we talk about, we say, then Donald Trump called his friend Elon Musk. And then Elon Musk show up and say, hey, I got another good idea. The good idea that I have is maybe we need to reduce. We gotta say we're gonna reduce the amount of the government is spending. We're gonna control the government because they're spending too much money. We got to come up with a department that called Government Efficiency Department. Department of efficiency, whatever, Dodge. So, Donald Trump, yeah, that's a good idea. Then they bring this idea to the people, to the American people. They bring it to the white people. And they believe it. They buy it. So, the civil war in which man wars, fast forwarded to the civil war, the certain elite were clear about why they wanted to secede. It wasn't about states' rights or any other smokescreen. They were forthright in admitting that it was to preserve slavery and white supremacy. They saw the value of enslaved labor as their wealth and were willing to go to war to protect it. The vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, even said that the cornerstone of their new government was that the Negro was not the equal of the white man. Alexander Stephens, he said, the Negro was not the equal of the white man. That's another statement he put out there to all of the other white men, even though they were poor. Now, they got another ego. They feel like they are superior than the Negro. They should not be among the Negro to be planning, comploting, of be revolting against their other white man. But here's the trick. If you poor and don't own enslaved people, why would you fight for the rich man property? Yes, you are poor. You don't have any slave. Why will you fight for the rich man's property? The answer lays in manipulation. And that's exactly what's going on right now. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they are not closing U.S. aid because they want to save American money. They are not closing certain agency. They are not working to get you a tax break. They are not working to get you a better pay rate. No, they are working to making sure that their company, Starlink, to make sure their Bible, Trump Bible, to make sure Trump currency, to make sure Trump merchandise, to make sure Melanie merchandise, to make sure Ivanka merchandise, to make sure all the billionaire merchandise, all the company, they have a stake within the USA government, and only them have the stake. Nobody else. If you poor, forget about you. Forget about you. You not on it. And let me make it clear. Donald Trump is not fighting for you if you poor. He's fighting for the rich man. He's fighting for me because I'm filthy rich. Even though I'm a Negro, but I have the money. He's fighting for me to make sure that I represent all my other Negro brother to keep them in line, to keep them in check. Because nowadays things are changing. They make sure that they look at among all the Negroes to see who is the most brilliant Negro, who knows that slavery is not a thing, who know that, hey, we all are created equal. They're looking for one. They're looking for one. They say, hey, this nigga is very smart. We cannot enslave him, because if we keep him among all our slaves, he's going to cause chaos. He's going to cause us losing everything that we have. We got to get this brother out. We got to get this Negro out. We're going to make him believe that he's equal to us. We're going to make him believe that if we give him a seat at the table. But yet, we're going to use him in our own advantage. We're going to manipulate him. That's exactly what the elite understanding. This disconnect convinced Paul White to fight for the elite. They understand that now, back then, they didn't have land. Back then, they didn't have the right to vote. But now, they have the right to vote. Now, they have a piece of land. They understand back then, they were not the sheriff in town. They didn't have a badge. They didn't have a horse. But now, they have badge. Now, they have horse. Now, they have a pistol. Now, they have a baton. They give them, they put them like, they give them a sense that they have a power. They convince the poor whites to fight for the system by using fear. They told them that, let me tell you something. You got to keep those niggas in check. Let me tell you something. We put you here. We give you this job just to make sure you keep those niggas in check. If enslaved people were freed, they will take their jobs. They will take your job. I'm telling you that. If you ever let a nigger free, that nigger gonna take your job. That's what they make them believe. The day that you let a nigger free, you're gonna lose your job. We're gonna make sure you lose your job. They're going to do your job and you're going to do their job. In reverse, you will not get pay, you will not get land, and you will not be able to vote. And those niggas, they're not going to vote. We're not gonna give them land. We're not going to pay them, but they will control you. And slave labor was already undercutting poor white workers, making it harder for them to make a living. Then the white man, the poor white man, with fear, were scared about their job. They say, oh fuck, I don't want to lose my job. I want to do whatever I have to do to make sure I keep my job. We got to do whatever we got to do to make sure we keep the job. If we can make the rich white man happy, we will get a little piece of the pie. As a matter of fact, it seems like they're giving us a lot. And what they doing now, they were friends back then with the poor. The poor white men were friends back then with the Negro. They were friends. But now they have a badge. Now they have a piece of land. Now they have the right to vote. They can no longer be friends with black and brown people. They in the past they were believed that all humans were created equal. Now they know, hey, no, the Negro are not equal to the white man, and they will never be equal. You guys, you the white man, you better than the black man. The black man are a thing. You the white man, we are human beings created by God. And the black men were created as a thing to make sure they help us to build our fortune. They put that mindset. They manipulate those poor white men. But by painting black and brown people as the enemy, they played the oldest trick in the book: divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. That's exactly what Donald Trump did. He played the oldest trick in the book: divide and conquer. Make you believe that the reason why there's inflation is because there's 24,000 illegal aliens, immigrants, that are taking over our job in the country. They are eating our dogs. They are eating our cats. They are eating our pets. They are bringing fentanyl. They are bringing us drugs. They are bringing all those criminals. They are empty prison in their own country and bring them here in the United States. They are empty prison, jails. There's no more jails in Mexico. There's no more jails in El Salvador, because all those jails being empty into the United States of America. He used that oldest tricks to divide and conquer. The labor movement and the rhetoric of division, jumping to the 1930s, we see that even labor unions supposedly fighting for the rights of workers fell into the trap of division. And that's exactly what's going on. Elon Musk say we should not have unions. We should revoke anybody, any unions license. There should be no unions in the United States. We don't need unions to track anything. This is back from 1960. This is back from 1930. Yes, the labor unions were there, but supposedly they were there fighting for the rights of workers, but they fell into the trap of division. Today, we have the unions. We have the labor unions. Did they fight enough? Can they fight enough to make sure that they keep Donald Trump and Elon Musk on check? No, they're not going to fight for you, because you know who is on top of the unions? Is a white man. That white man, he's been offered a piece of that cake. He's been offered a slice of that pie to keep his mouth shut. Is not going to fight for you. You got to fight for yourself. You got to fight for yourself. But in order for you to fight for yourself, only if you know that you're being played, only if you know that you not count, they use you as a bridge to get to where they want to be. They use you as a bridge just so they can get to where they want to be. As soon as they get to their destination, They don't need you no more, or they will need you until next time. White label leaders were not part of the elite. In other words, what's going on right now in this present moment, what's going on right now in this present moment, the poor white people, you're not the elite. You're not part of the elite. You will never be part of the elite unless you reach. You still play onto the same game that you see the immigrants is playing with. You still playing onto the same game that you see the Mexican people been playing it into. You still play into the same game that you see the Haitian, the Negro is being played into. So, they fear that integrating the Indians with black. They fear that integrating their Indians with black, Mexican, and Chinese workers will somehow lower the integrity of their craft. That's the poor white man. They say, hey, listen, we're not happy. We are not happy about how much they're paying us right now. We are not happy about the quality of the land they give us. Where they give us all the leftover, the land that they don't need, the land that cannot cultivate, the land that we can do nothing. They're giving all the bad land. Not happy. We're not happy about it. We have to go and strike. And that's why they create union. But they feel like, hey, we're not strong enough. We need some help. But they look at themselves. They sit down among each other and say, hey, listen, man, we are all right, man. We are all right, man. We are all equal. Look at all those rich right men on the other land. They give us land, they give us a job, and they tell us if we ever let those niggers, those Mexican, those Chinese workers, if we ever let them go, they're gonna take our job. What that mean? We're gonna have to do their job. That's why we cannot brand them among us. We cannot brand them. We cannot put them in our union, because that will lower not just our integrity, but our craft. And this was a prime example of how the healthy class had conditions the working class to see people of color as competition. And until now, the rich people, they condition the poor white people, they condition a lot of us to see people of color as competition instead of uniting for better wages and working conditions. Labor leaders excluded these groups, not realizing that their bosses were already preparing to replace them with the very same people they sought to exclude. When strikes happen, it wasn't the healthy who suffered. It was the workers who were left to fight amongst themselves while the rich maintained control. While the rich maintained control, they were left to fight by themselves. The present day politics of division now in modern times we see the same tactics at play. Politicians like Donald Trump are capitalizing on the same divided and conquered rhetoric. He tell the poor whites that the problems like jobless and economic struggles are due to immigrants, particularly Mexican and Haitian, taking their jobs, eating their pets. Is that the truth? My beloved brothers and sisters, Donald Trump played the American people by the old trick. Donald Trump played the American people from the oldest trick from the book. The real culprit is the system that rewards the rich, exploits the poor, and keeps people divided by race, and keep the poor people poor, and make sure they get even poorer every single day. That's the world. That's the primary job, to make sure the poor stay poor. And they continue to enrich themselves by exploits the poor. When they're in the private dining room with the family among themselves, they call you think in front of you, they are calling you, oh, you are my brothers, you are my sister, I believe in you, I believe in you, keeping us this country safe. We have to keep this country safe by any means. The police officers, now I'm talking to you. I'm talking up to you, the ICE officers. I'm talking to you, our soldiers, American soldiers. I am talking to you. When those folks in front of you, the language they use in front of you, that's not the language they use behind closed bar when they are eating dinner with the rich men like themselves. They're calling you white trash. They are using you, and they know they are. And that's their plan. They put you on the front line to make sure you protect it. Their interests, their fortune. This narrative continues to serve the interests of the elite, distracting from the true sources of inequality. The issue isn't Mexican, black people, or any other group of color. The issue is a system designed by the rich to protect their wealth and power by pitting the rest of us against each other. Yes. This is what it is. They give you a badge. They give you a firearm. They give you a fancy uniform. They give you a paycheck every single week. They gave you benefits, right? They give you a bunch of benefits that they write a bunch of benefits and give you to you on paper. And you can only use those benefits when you're getting old, if you don't die. And they're going to make sure that you die. Because with all the drugs that you're taking, when you go to the hospital, you got a headache, they give you a pill for headache. And the pill that they give you for a headache, he give you blindness. Then you go to the hospital, now they got to give you a prescription for you being blind. Now that pill give you A stomach ache. You got to go to hospital for a stomach ache. They give you another pill that give you back pain. You got a back pain. They say, hey, you know what? We got to give you a shot. That shot put you in a wheelchair. While you're in the wheelchair, you get hit by a car. You die. And all those benefits they promised in you, your family can claim them because they have so many policies. Oh, this benefits was if only you die by this, but that was a car accident. That benefits, it was only if you reach to 67 years old, to 70 years old. But now you die too young. You cannot be entitled of those benefits. They got to keep you in check. You get played by the book, by the old trick. America, this is a call to wake up. The true story of America is the story of rich white men, of rich European, telling non-rich European that their enemies are black and brown people. Their enemies are Haitian. Their enemies are Mexican. Their enemy are the people, black and brown people. That's your enemies. From the colonial era to the present day, this divide and conquer strategy has kept the elite in control. But it's time to wake up. The real enemy isn't the person next to you. It's the system that profits from our division. The time has come to unite and fight for a fair society, free from the lies that keep us apart. The real power lays in solidarity, not in fear and division. America, we got to do better. We got to do better because we know better. And the only way for us, to fix this broken system, we gotta be strong enough. We gotta prepare ourselves, and we gotta be strong than ever before to look at the rich European, the rich white man. We gotta be able to look Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all his rich friends to tell them that our enemies are not black and brown people, but our enemy is you. It's you that have 90% of the entire economy. And then us, we have nothing. And we are the ones who are putting our lives in the light every single day. We are the one in the middle of Afghanistan. We are the one in Iraq. We are the one in Israel. We are the one who is fighting for the freedom of this country, who die for this country every single day. Our brothers, our sisters are dying for this country, just for the white rich man to be rich every single day, to get richer, while they are playing us by saying the people, the black, the brown color people, our enemies. The Haitian is our enemy. The Mexican is our enemy. They are brothers and sisters. My beloved brothers and sisters, the time has come to unite and fight for a fair society, free from the lies that keep us apart. The willpower lays in solidarity, not in fear and division. Again, I say it again. The fear. We should not be fear. We should not be afraid to look at the white man to say, today is time for us to unite. And we're going to fight. We're going to fight for a fair society. Free from the lies that you tell us that keep us apart. The willpower lays in solidarity. The willpower lays in solidarity, not in fear and division. And we no longer fear, and we're no longer going to divide it. We're going to get the black brothers. We're going to get the Mexican people. We're going to get all the black and brown people together. We're going to fight for what is white. My beloved brothers and sisters, thank you so much for your time. And that was the Paul and D Show. Until then, I see you.